Every now and then I like to point out the absolutely, completely, totally obvious. Just because I think sometimes when something's completely, totally obvious, it's so obvious it's right in front of our face and we didn't notice it. I have tattoos. I don't know if you've noticed that. I won't show you all of them. You're welcome. But I have quite a few. I have a few. I just want to say, by the way, that in order to have proper tattoos, like not like the rub-on ones or the draw-on ones or henna tattoos, which are also really cool, by the way, but they do fade and disappear. Tattoos are permanent, so you need to be old enough and mature enough and have enough life experience to understand that they're permanent, and so then that means they need to have meaning for you. They really have to have important meaning. And for some people, that important meaning is art. They're an art form, right? Which is really cool. For others, it's signs and symbols and things that have special meaning for you. And that's, for me, that's the most important thing. So all of my tattoos have special meaning. So this is one, you probably can't see that on the camera at home, but this is actually, well, I'll tell you what it is. It's exactly what it says. It says, Ubi caritas et amor Deus ibi est. Try it. Yeah, it's a little complicated, isn't it? The other thing is, too, if you looked at this really closely and tried to read it, you'd go, even if you were a musician, you'd go, that music only has 4 staves or 4 lines on the staff, and the notes are all square. That is true. Because what this is it's from a medieval manuscript. So, like, it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of, like, it's centuries old. It's older than some people's grandparents. Some of them. It's very old. And in those days, before we had, like, the kind of music we have today, people sang chant a lot in church. And so monks, especially, wrote it down, and this is how they wrote it down, which is why the first letter right here at the end, this U, is so big and bright and colorful, is when they did this thing called a manuscript, the first letter was always really decorated and big, and then the rest was all this really nice fancy script. And it's in Latin. But I'm sure you understood exactly what it said, because everyone understands Latin these days. Nope. What it says is, loosely translated, what it says is, where there is kindness and love, there is God. And so this is really important to me for a bunch of reasons, one of which is when, long time ago, when I was a choir boy, we used to sing this kind of stuff, and we sang in Latin and all that kind of stuff. And so it reminds me a little bit of where I came from, but it also reminds me a lot about where I came from before all of that, which is God. Because God is love and kindness, which is always, that's so important for me. In fact, it's so important, I'll just point out one other one. That's a beet. It's a beet. Now, if you know me, you know I don't like beets. I don't eat beets. They're gross, they're disgusting, they're horrible. I have a beet to remind me that God is love, and God loves all creation, and love and God is in all creation. So even if I don't like beets, because they're gross and disgusting and horrible, that doesn't mean beets aren't... I'm just going to struggle with this. It doesn't mean they're not good. And it doesn't mean that other people can't enjoy them and love them, right? Because we're all different. And some people really love them, Diane. Some people even pickle them. Ugh. But that's the thing. That's the thing about it. And that's why this is so important to me, is God is love. And love means knowing that all is good and that we are connected to all things. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard because we don't always like everything, and we don't always feel connected to everything. And so it's really hard. And so I have this to remind me. Now, fortunately, some people in a place in France called Taizé came up with another little tune for this ubi caritas et amor thing. So the words are ubi caritas et amor Deus ibi est. And it goes like this. Ubi caritas et amor, ubi caritas Deus ibi est. So, ubi caritas down, et amor down, ubi caritas down, up, Deus ibi est at the end. Right? 3 downs and up. Try it with me. Ubi caritas et amor, ubi caritas Deus ibi est. So it's just a little thing. It's a little thing. And you can repeat it over and over again as like a little chant or a mantra or something. And to remind us that God, where God is, there is love and kindness. And where there's kindness and love, there is God, because God is love and kindness. And there will be a test, by the way, at the end of everyone's proper pronunciation of the Latin. And no, there won't. No, there won't. God